Rhymes with Orange and Blue Podcast.
NRW crew, Broncos country, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Baki, and with me, as always, is my best friend in the world, Isaiah Henderson. What's up, buddy?
You know what it is. What's up, NRW crew? What is up, Johnny? What is up?
Dude,
what's going on?
It's been a busy week, man. It's been a busy week. I've worked so many 12-hour shifts this week. It's not even funny.
It really has a lot to
but here we are. We're back. So, hey, guys, welcome. This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. If you're not familiar with us, we are a fan-based a fan-led Broncos-based podcast that goes live every Sunday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at 6543. That's the time zones. Put them where they go, okay? If you like what you see, if you like what you hear today, guys, hit that subscribe. Give us a subscribe. Hit that like button. Follow. Share it. Share it out there. Get it out to your friends. Come on. Let's build this. Let's build this community. Let's build this family, this crew, right? All right, the NRW crew, as it has been so aptly named. It's pretty awesome. All right, give us that subscribe because, hey, we are on that quest. For 1,000 subscribers. Please, guys, help us out.
100.
Help us out, guys. This is how you help a growing channel. This is how you help a growing community. Subscribe and share it out to your friends. All right. I'm gonna stop beating that like a dead horse, and we can get on to today. So we've already got in the comments. We have Dave Glassman giving us cheers. Here's to you, Dave. All right, with hashtag
Dave.
18, hashtag 27, and hashtag 47. Number 18, number 27, number 47. We'll get to that here in a minute. Jay Weaver, Dream Weaver.
I'm playing those numbers.
Nice
in the lottery
to see
this
some more Broncos jerseys in the Hall of Fame. That's right, EJ.
3, baby.
Yep,
3.
3 more in 1 week in one like class. What's up? That's awesome. We got EJ in the house. What's up, Broncos country? Ronald Samples, Broncos gang, and Broncos country, stand up. That's right.
Stand up.
And we've got, let's see, we got, who else is in the house? Landon Clark, the whiz kid, saying,
Landon Clark,
I have returned back from church camp.
Welcome back.
Back from church camp.
Yeah. Sounds like a blast.
Dude, I'm jealous. I loved church camp when I was growing up. They didn't love me so much, though. I was a problem child.
I've never been to church camp.
You've never been to church camp? Well, that's just sad, dude. Like, I mean, I feel for you.
Everybody goes to church camp. I've never been to church camp. I don't understand. I feel left out.
So, anyway, hey, well, you know, maybe next year you're short enough. Maybe next year, if you shave, you know, real close to the skin, we can get you on the bus and get you up to church camp, and they'll just think you're a really old-looking high schooler.
That was rude and that was unnecessary, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You know, you go to church camp. Revelation 21.
Dave, the prodigal son has returned. There's a bunch of verses where it says that.
Yes, it is. There's a bunch of, but Revelation 21:8 is my favorite. Look it up. I always say, read a book. Well, you should read the Bible. That's a book. Anyway.
Read it.
Anyway, guys, hey, it's exciting, right? It's exciting. Everything that's happened this week. We've had, you know, another week of training camp in the books. We've got the Hall of Fame. Man, let's get to it, Isaiah. So what were you most excited
scrimmage
about this week?
Today we had the scrimmage that happened today. So
I really haven't got to see much on it yet. But I can't wait.
Broncos Twitter. I was definitely on Broncos Twitter today, and it's definitely.
You're cutting in and out. Again.
Broncos Twitter is actually better. Am I cutting out in and out right now?
Yeah, you were. So anyway, so what was the, you know, the what was exploding in the Twitter sphere as far as the scrimmage goes today against the Vikings?
Well, the second play of the game was this bomb on the Cortland Sutton.
Hold on.
The consensus of the day
is You're
I'm
cutting
dropping
in and
out.
out.
I'll
Drop
be back.
out, come back in. Drop out and come back in. What's up? All right, hey guys, it's just me for a minute, but we'll get back to the scrimmage today. I'm most excited about the Hall of Fame this week. I mean, you know, training camp's awesome. We get to see a whole bunch of stuff. Let me take this down real quick because without Isaiah on here, it kind of looks dumb. There we go. So we had a lot of cool stuff this week. You know, like I said, another week of training camp in the books. We've had the Hall of Fame ceremonies, the inductions of three more members of the Broncos into the Hall of Fame. How wicked cool. I mean, it doesn't get more cool than that, you know? There you are. Hey, you're back. So anyway, you know, let's talk about that real quick. We're onto the Hall of Fame for right now, Isaiah. So Hall of Fame inductions, right? So, I mean, we have some prolific names, you know, in Broncos history that are in the Hall of Fame. You know, of course, you've got John Elway. You've got Terrell Davis. You've got Randy Gradishar. I mean, the list goes on and on. Shannon Sharp. You know, Mr. Pat Bolin himself.
Floyd
and then
Little.
to have, Floyd Little. And then to have three new inductions from the Broncos organization in the same year. I mean, granted, it's technically 2 seasons worth because, you know, COVID threw a wrench in last year's ceremonies, but still pardon me, the class of 2021, Peyton Manning, right. And John Lynch and Steve Atwater. I mean, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. 3 members of the Broncos and like, you know, their busts, they, you know, if y'all haven't seen it yet, their busts looked awesome. They, you know, absolutely perfect. You know, and their speeches were fantastic. My favorite was Steve Atwater's. Did you get to see Steve Atwater's?
No, I haven't had a chance to actually watch their speeches. I was on Twitter and I got to see you know, the short clips here and there. But Deb Trent, Johnny, do you know who Deb Trent is?
I do know who Deb Trent is. Yep. She Deb Trent lived down the street from me as a kid, and she basically raised me like a second mom. Really, really amazing lady.
Yes, I've heard so much about
really amazing lady.
I've heard so much
really
about
amazing
you.
Lady. And I love
Ronald
her very
Samples
much. I love
asked you a
Deb.
question, Johnny.
So I need my Broncos flag. How to get the Broncos flag? Are you talking about our Bronco gang flag there, Ron?
On the back?
Is that? No, I think he's talking about. He's talking about our. Mine's on the table behind me. Our Bronco gang flag. I think. Well, you know, I clarify for me, Ron. That's what you're talking about. And then we got, you know, Jay, you know, Dreamweaver, my cousin Jay, lock throwing bombs today. So that was at the scrimmage. Like I said, I haven't had a chance today to actually watch or, you know, keep up with the scrimmage. But if Locke is throwing bombs, I'm all in on it. I'm excited about it.
It was a consensus. Drew Lock won the day. Easy.
This is funny. Dave Glassman says, I heard Peyton Manning's bust took 50% more bronze because of the additional forehead space. That's awesome.
Makes sense. That actually sounds right.
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, that's not a 4-head. That's not a 5-head. That's like a 6-head, man. Like, you gotta be like,
yeah, that's different. Yeah,
Ron and Ron, thank you for clarifying.
All
Ron.
his helmets.
Yes, if you're talking about the Bronco gang flag, I'm sorry if something happened to yours. I hope that hope everything's all right. You can go on to broncogang.com to order a new flag. It's the only place I know to get it. And yeah, this was crazy. Jay brought this up. Huge fight today. Chubb versus Bowles.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's always one. There's always a training camp, you know, fight. It always happens. And I mean, who we lying to? Even if we're talking about wanting our team, all the members of our team to please, you know, get along. You know, it just shows the passion, in my opinion. I mean, fights happen, man. Like, you know, you spend all this time. Sport. Yeah, it's a contact sport. You spend all this time with each other, in each other's faces, whether you're on the same team or not. There, you know, when you're competitive like that, in that environment, in a contact sport like that, man, you know, your blood gets boiling and things happen, man. So, I mean, I'm sure at the end of the day, you know, Astronaut and Bowles are just gonna, like, I'm sure they'll shake hands, slap five, and give each other a hug because we've seen them talking before. They're
They did,
tight,
yeah, they did. Garrett came
So.
back up to him on a water break and gave him a high five, and I'm pretty sure Bradley was rushing against Garrett. They just got physical.
Let's get physical.
Mundugan is funny.
Yeah, he says we're gonna have to use some of our non-existent MHRT money to get you a new router.
He said non-existent. Honestly, Mundugas, I don't know what it is. The only thing it ever does,
and there we go again.
With this is StreamYard. The only time with anything else, am I freezing?
You were for a second.
Okay, the only thing it ever does is when I go live with StreamYard, and nothing else in this house ever slows down internet like this except for StreamYard Live. So I don't know if because it takes up a lot of bandwidth or whatever. Maybe it may just be the area. I don't know what it is, but when I go StreamYard Live, the internet just takes a crap. So I don't know if I have to speed it up, add bandwidth, or whatever the case may be, or get some more Google hubs around the house so that way it can,
it spreads out. We continue to lose you. This is bad.
It's getting on my nerves.
It is. Okay, so
let me go shut off the Wi-Fi on everything else that's
please do that. Jump back in a second. So Mundungus clarified for us that the fight today, Chubb threw a punch and accidentally hit Kush, and that's what started the fight between Bowles and Chubb. I mean, and Jay says it shows some much needed fire, which I mean it does, man. Like we need this kind of fire. We need this kind of passion. Granted, we don't want to see players injuring, on our team injuring each other by any means. But I mean, if they can take that kind of passion, that kind of power and fire and translate it a little bit, man, into the actual season, dude, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be, we already see it. We've already seen it, guys. Like this on paper, the roster itself, even with average quarterback play, is slated to make waves this year on paper, which I hate saying that. I hate using that phrase on paper because who are we? I hate it. Ugh, it's such a, tentatively or something. But the point is right now, it looks like this team is poised to make waves and seeing that kind of fire, seeing that kind of passion, even if it's against each other right now before all this stuff happens, it's it. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Like I said, I haven't been able to keep up with it today. I've been busy with church and family stuff. So Mundungus said Chubb and Bulls were fighting on the ground after the play. Chubb got up and threw a punch and accidentally hit Kush. That's kind of crazy.
They're both protecting his offensive lineman.
He is, but no, they were already fighting. Like that's what Mundungus just clarified that. They were already fighting, and then Chubb threw a punch, apparently missed, and hit Kush instead of Bowles. So, I really hope they can rein that in just a little. The fire, the passion, it's great, but like let's rein it in, okay? Like Jay just said it here, better to happen before we host Minnesota, which is right. Let's not go getting dudes suspended because they decide to throw a punch at opposing players. So, and I don't know if that helped at all, Isaiah. You're still okay. Maybe it did now. We'll see. So anyway, this has been an exciting week. Right now, it's from everything I've read, it's kind of like Teddy kind of won this week, from what I've understood in training camp. It just seems like he kind of. I heard Troy Rank use the words "inched." Is starting to inch himself away or something. I don't know. What do you think? Have you really been have you kept up this week on the quarterback competition and all that?
Yeah. Before today, the last couple of days, it seems like Teddy Bridgewater had barely, won the day per se. Mm-hmm. But from what it sounds like, with the scrimmage today, it's back tied. Drew Lock came and just showed out in a scrimmage 11-on-11 and just showed out.
Tossing bombs.
No interceptions. He's thrown a couple, close interceptions, but no interceptions, throwing touchdowns. I think he had 3 touchdowns on the day. guys
For the
correct me in the
scrimmage
comments if
today.
I'm wrong.
That's wicked. That's wicked.
Yeah. So
I mean,
and then you got there's a break today, and you got the scrimmage against Minnesota on Tuesday. So there's a break tomorrow. I'm sorry, a break tomorrow. And then the scrimmage on Tuesday against Minnesota, and that's really going to really separate Teddy Bridgewater from Drew Lock, or Drew Lock from Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, we'll see. Again, as always, as it has been this whole dang time, it's I don't predict we're going to see any news or get an answer until just before the season starts. I mean, we can continue to speculate and throw out predictions and hopes and dreams and all that, but and Mundunga says it here. It sounds as though Bridgewater is playing like an average quarterback, which we knew, and Locke is being very inconsistent. We also knew that. Great at one practice, terrible in another. So
I would not say terrible.
I wouldn't say terrible either.
I'd say
great at one
practice, average at another. I mean, which is, I mean, if you're really thinking about it, consistency is you're always average, or you're always terrible, or you're always great. And I know we want our quarterback to be always great, but I mean, I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I'd say it's less than what we want. So therefore we categorize it as terrible.
Yeah.
Look out for the blah, blah, blah.
Basically.
There's a lot of blah, blah, blah on Broncos Twitter too.
Yeah, it's everywhere, man. And that's because of the media, man. I don't care, what anybody says. Members of the media are biased just like anybody else. And they can try to hide their biases within their bodies of work. They can, try to make it sound like what they're writing or what they're reporting is, as unbiased as possible, but you can always read a bias.
My thing is, if you have a bias, or people are calling it out and people can see it, I just admit it. Hey, if you're a Broncos reporter, be like, hey, I'm reporting on the the practices and the preseason, just a heads up. I personally like Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Lock, just let you guys know, so that way when you read said posts or articles, you already know which way the person's leaning. But like you said, don't try to hide it. I mean, any person can pick it out.
It's not about hiding. It's like they try to do the responsible thing as members of the media, I think, and try to make it at least look like they're unbiased, but at the same time, they're human just like anybody else, and they have their preferences just like you or I do. Obviously, like everybody, there's the Drew Lock haters, and then there's the Drew Lock lovers. There's a few, I'd say, that ride the middle of the fence, and just but they even if they try as hard as they possibly can to hide the fact that they have a preference one way or the other, they're still human, and and often you can still read what their preference is just based on the way they report and talk. So, I mean, and unfortunately, that's what social media has done. I mean, that's what social media has done to the media and reporting and stuff is. It used to just be you had to wait until to watch the evening news or read the newspaper the next day, to hear to get reports and everything. But now there's so much coming out all the time immediately. It's instantaneous news constantly. We don't and unfortunately, because of the way that things are, like social media has created a divide in the world, a true divide where you are either for this or you are against it. There is no middle ground anymore. And it stinks. It really does. I wish that people could just get back to being like, well, I think this, but I see your point of view, and no, it's someone badmouths Drew Lock and the Drew Lock lovers automatically are like, well, you're a hater. But then somebody says they love Drew Lock, and instantaneously the Drew Lock haters are like, but he's a piece of crap. I wish we could get to this middle ground. I really, really do. So
I think it's such a hard divide because all the pieces are there, and for people that are upset, I can't fault them. I mean, I get it. All the pieces are there. The defense is elite. Our offensive receiving core is elite. Our offensive line finally has camaraderie and can be the best offensive lineman in in the NFL. So we have a great running back room. So I mean, the pieces are there, and the only thing that's not confirmed, that's missing, is the quarterback. So I understand why there's a great divide. I mean, but sometimes it goes overboard, and sometimes it gets annoying. But I mean, if let's say Drew Lock is a starter, and he goes out there and wins 12, 13 games. I promise you, Broncos country is going to be united. Once again, there's going to be no question. If Teddy Bridgewater is a starter and he goes out there and wins 12, 13 games, Broncos country will be united. Winning cures all. So right now it's just the bumpy speed bump phase of trying to get through it and just trying to get to a game. That's all we want as Broncos country, is we just want to get to a game.
We got football back. Football's back. I mean, there was that debacle of a game between the Cowboys and the Steelers last Thursday.
What? They said it was a Hall of Fame game.
That's what they called it. But man,
who plays in that?
Well, this year it was the Cowboys and the Steelers.
Is it their actual starters?
It's kind of like a preseason game. You see a little bit of everybody.
Oh, did it suck? Because you said it was all.
The Cowboys just looked like, well, crap.
Well, their starting quarterback wasn't out there. Dak Prescott wasn't out there.
No, he wasn't out there. But it definitely didn't look.
It looked like last year.
It definitely didn't look good.
All that talk about CeeDee Lamb, and apparently it didn't matter.
Yeah. So.
Hey,
all right. So going back up real quick, we got Teddy or Dave Glassman saying Teddy's never going to be great. Locke at least has the potential, and I've said that. I mean, right now, yeah, has he been inconsistent? Sure, but I think his upside is still higher than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy's been around the league a long time. We have seen what he's capable of at this point. I don't think he in any way is really set to be able to surprise us any more than he already, has. Now, and then of course Ron brings in, but Teddy's not going to lose his games. And then Dave Glassman asks, but is he going to win his games?
I think I have to watch some Teddy highlights and some of his plays. You're saying, is he going to lose his games? If there's a game-winning drive, let's use last year's Charger game where Drew Lock drove it down the field and we won. Because we won, it's an easy example. But the question is, would you want Teddy Bridgewater in that position?
I don't know.
Well, let's say it was the last game of the season last year with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to drive down the field or whatever the case may be. Who would you want in that position, Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock? Now, I'm not going to, I admit my bias. I like Drew Lock. But, answer that question to yourself. Oh, I'd prefer to have Teddy. And then to answer your question, yes, he'd win his games. So you got to replace him and say, hey, in this situation, who would you rather have? In this situation, who would you rather have? So that's what it comes down to. And, the coaches are doing the same thing. When they do these 2-minute drills, these 4-minute drills at the end of the half, what quarterback is most likely to get us down the field and get us points, whether that be a field goal or a touchdown without turning the ball over?
You look up here, Mundungus comes back at Dave with the roster that we have. It doesn't matter if the QB can win games. He just can't lose this games.
I agree with that.
The roster, you're not wrong, boss. I mean, the QB play has to be at least good, average to good, but with the roster, I mean, the weapons surrounding our quarterbacks this season, I mean, this team is slated, like I said earlier, to make waves, to just make, to splash in the NFL this year. Now, if we could just get one of these guys to emerge as a franchise guy, we could even be Super Bowl contenders. And I'm not, and I'm taking that, I talked about it. James Palmer of ESPN, he said it, like, he even talks to he's even in talks with other teams. They have said with the Broncos weapons, if they can get a franchise quarterback, they're a Super Bowl contender. And I mean, it's true. It's true. So right now, I mean, we're looking at possibly a playoff team. That's what I see.
I do too. And, I really think we make the playoffs this year. But Johnny, I have a couple of announcements that I want to announce to the NRWOB crew. I got some bad news, guys. First bad news. I told Johnny before the podcast, I dropped the ball So as many of you know, I was gone for 2 weeks and I had my wedding ceremony in Florida, and my wife wanted to do the mile high five instead of a kiss.
I love your
And
wife.
I forgot. So when they said you may now kiss the bride, I forgot to do the mile high five, and I kissed her. I mean, there was like like it was filmed. There was like 500 people, and afterwards she goes, "What the hell happened?" I was like, "I forgot." So that's my fault.
You're fired.
I got worse.
You're
news.
so fired.
Yes, that was. I mean, I really had a chance to do the mile high five, and my wife brought it up. I was shocked, and I just completely forgot. But the worst news is, this upcoming Sunday will be my last podcast with NRWOB in this apartment because we're moving. So next Sunday,
do that. Don't do that, you jerk.
Next Sunday, me and the wife will be at a new location. So we'll no longer be here because we're moving. We'll be at another location. So this will be my last podcast in this home because we're moving somewhere else. That's the news. Let's get back to Broncos news. So I just want to keep you guys updated on what's going on in my life. So there's that.
No.
Oh, Hercules.
You are a jerk, my friend. Like you can't do that to me. You cannot do that to me. You understand? Like, yeah, and like Rich is saying it right here. You are a lucky man. She wanted to do the mile high five and you forgot?
Richie, I like that. MHF. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I dropped the ball. I just wanted to kiss her face and I forgot. Apparently she didn't want to kiss mine and she wanted to do a high five instead. We were going to do a handshake. But
what in the world?
Because she saw it on TikTok. Oh my god, on this damn TikTok. So she saw somebody do a TikTok.
Let's not go there.
Where they didn't do a kiss, they did a high five, and we forgot to plan one. She was like, "Hey, let's just do the mile high five instead." And I was like,
"Oh, I love it."
And I was like, "Yeah." That sounds great. And then he was like, "You may now kiss the bride." I was like, "Yeah, screw all that. Give me your face." And I forgot. So,
yeah. Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I mean, kudos to
KB82 back in the house.
Wait, KB82 is in the house. Forgot to do the mile high five. Typical 101st soldier. LOL, JK. Congrats. Yeah, you know what, KB82, you can just drop out right now, bro. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
don't you dare. Don't you dare. You know. Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, like we'll drop right out of the chopper, right on top of you. Ron says, "Congrats on your wedding. It's a special time. That's pretty cool."
Thank you, guys. I definitely appreciate it in the comments. Yeah, it was the best day of my life. So far, I don't even have kids yet. You know, some people say when you have kids, the day of your children are born is the best day. But so far, that was the best day of my life. I miss you guys, but I absolutely had a blast. I thank you guys for being patient and giving some love in the comments. So thank you guys. I love you, NRW crew.
Yeah, we love you, brother. Like it's, you know, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for this one. And I say this one because funny story, Isaiah's already been married for a year.
Yes.
I know because I performed the wedding ceremony. So you know,
yeah, so because of COVID, we were supposed to get married in Florida to begin with, but we couldn't. So we got married in the park, and she really wanted this wedding ceremony. And I told her, "Hey, why don't we just take the money and, you know, put it toward our house?" She said, "I'll divorce you." So we paid for the ceremony, and I gave her what she wants. You know, if you're married in the comments or you're married and you're watching, you already know, happy wife, happy life. So that's what I'm learning. I've been married for a year. I'm starting to learn more and more. Johnny taught me one thing. He said, "You can either be right or you can be happy." And I was like, "Johnny, it's me. I can be both."
No, you can't.
No, you cannot.
No,
you cannot.
You cannot be right and happy, buddy. Either just
no,
you know. Yes. So
sacrifice one or the other.
Yes, you do. So Richie Rich says, "Hey, Isaiah's wife said he doesn't have kids yet. You found a keeper." Dave Glassman says, "I love my wife. I love my kids. January 25th, 1998. Best day of my life. Super Bowl 32. So anyway, it's good. It's good to have, you know, I'm glad you're back. You know, I mean, you were back last week too, but you know, I'm just saying, like in general, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you guys had fun. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but you know, I'm truly glad that it was a good, joyful experience for both of you.
No, it was.
So,
But
let's see.
This is a joyful experience.
So Drew, like we
So-
we have Mundungus here comparing Drew Lock to Fitzpatrick. Fantastic when he's on, terrible when he isn't. And that, I mean, I would actually agree. I would actually agree with that.
Yes and no. Yes,
I mean, when he has been good, he's looked amazing. When he's had those flashes, like the Carolina game, okay, the even the Chargers game, he looked
Houston game in 2019.
Yeah, he was on and he looked phenomenal. But then something happens. I don't know if he just gets in his own head. I don't know if he starts overthinking or what.
It's like every quarterback in the league, and this is where I say yes and no, Mundungus. I think when he's on, he's better than Fitzpatrick, and I think when he's off, he's not as bad as Fitzpatrick. So I think, in my opinion, I think Drew Lock is better than Fitzpatrick. That can be that's definitely my bias speaking. But I don't think his worst is as bad as Fitzpatrick. I think his better is better than Fitzpatrick. So if we're saying Drew Lock is like Fitzpatrick now, and Drew Lock's been in the league 3 years, and Fitzpatrick's been in how many years? 10 to 12. And they're already equal. So imagine the improvement that Drew Lock can make, and the improvement everybody expected Fitzpatrick to have made by now. Mama's in the chat. Hey, Mama, love you. She says, "Kiss to the wife had better trump Broncos." Isaiah, yes, ma'am. That's why I did it. Because it did trump the Broncos to me. Apparently not to her, because she was upset with me that I didn't do it. Now I will say this: everybody in the crowd would have been confused, but I would have had the video and posted it everywhere, and everybody would have known. Mile High Five is everywhere.
Yeah. EJ gives you his congratulations as well. Ron says just celebrated his 7th wedding anniversary on the 3rd of August. Congratulations, Ron. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
7 years is 7 years.
My
is a big deal, brother.
That's a long time. I'm trying to get like you. 7 years. My parents just celebrated theirs today, 38 years. So congratulations on everybody in the chat that's married for a long time. I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to learn. There's a lot to learn. It's every
my
day.
wife and I love her with all my heart. We have been married 11 years back in June. So
Richie's right there with you.
11. Yeah, there you go. 11 years on July. So it looks like I beat you by 1 month there, buddy. I win. I'm just kidding. KB82
that's
for
a long
Lock to
time. I'm
succeed.
trying to get like you guys. I'm barely a year in.
Right. KB82 says for Drew Lock to succeed, he needs to lean heavily on his running backs in the run and the passing game, especially to set up the play action and the big plays down the field. You're not wrong, and I think he's going to. I mean, with Pat Shurmur, hopefully this year is making some good play calls, and he sees that too. I mean, the play action is going to be an important part of this offense. I really believe. And I think that if he is leaning on the running backs in order to do that, and is able to set up play actions and make the big play here and there. It doesn't have to be all the time. Let's hope he remembers that. It's gonna look good. So
KB82, I agree. And I said this last season, I'm gonna say it this season. And when somebody else says it, I'm gonna be pissed because they're gonna get credit for it instead of me. But I'm gonna say it anyway. The Broncos' offensive identity needs to be congruent, paralleled, identical to the Titans. Run the ball, pass the ball. That's not a hot take.
No, but it was a big moment. You
take.
said no. You're right. I did it because you just said I'm going to say it, and somebody else is going to take it, say it, and get credit. So I was kind of doing it more as like a, hey, this is Isaiah's big moment right here.
Yeah, our offensive identity needs to be similar to the Titans, where they rely heavily on the run game, and then when they need to on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, they can throw it off to a couple play actions or a dig to AJ Brown across the middle, or a curl route to Julio Jones to the tight end. That's what the Broncos' identity needs to be. Not saying, I guess you could say maybe we don't trust our quarterback all the time, but it takes the pressure off our quarterbacks. We got Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, where, hey, if you can get 5-6 yards 4 to 5 yards every play, we don't have to worry about throwing the ball. And one thing that the Titans were good at was possession. They keep the ball for a long time. It's hard to play against the Titans because they run the off. They take forever to move down the field and they tire the defense out. So when they throw the ball, they're all refreshed and ready to go. The receivers haven't been running any routes, so they're ready to go. And that's what the Broncos offense needs to do. Just run the ball, throw it when you need to. Get the defense tired. So that way your defense is refreshed. The kicker's refreshed. You have momentum on the offensive side. And you can either put up 3 or you can put up 7. And then when the defense comes out, they're ready to go. And the other team's offense is rusty. They're cold. They haven't warmed up yet. They've been on the sideline for a long time. That's how the Titans got to the playoffs 2 years in a row, is that offensive identity. And I think the Broncos have the potential to be similar, if not identical.
Sure. We have other anniversaries thrown in there. Mundungus says 15 years in November. Dave, 14 years on October. In October, if you count his exes. Or in October, 22 if you count his exes. We don't. We don't. Rich has a question for us that I like, and he says it below that this is an either or, so we can't say both. So what do we need more, Locke to improve or Shurmur to adapt? Like I said, in a perfect world, I would answer both. But since you're making me do either or, I'm going to say Locke to improve.
Locke to improve.
Because ultimately, whether Shurmur should adapt some. He needs to adapt some for his quarterback to be good, to complement the weapons on his team's, the weapons on his offense's skill sets. But if he's refusing to do so, it's up to the players to make it happen regardless. So if they are following, if they're following his playbook and following what he's telling them they need to do, it's up to them, even if they don't like it, even if it's not their forte, to make it happen. So
I agree.
Ultimately, Drew Lock just needs to improve. Now,
because if he can improve, regardless of the offensive coordinator, the offensive playbook, if Locke can improve and be a great quarterback like he claims he wants to be, I don't want to say any offensive playbook, but for the most part, the majority of offensive plays thrown at him, like Johnny said, he can make it happen. So if Locke improves, let's say at the end of the season, Locke improved greatly. There was no doubt about it. The NFL awards him rookie comeback player of the year. He's just he's it. He's it. But the Broncos will make the playoffs. But Locke wins comeback player of the year. Does Pat Shurmur stay or does Locke go?
No.
Shurmur has to go.
If somehow Drew Lock gets most improved offensive player of the year, I don't see him losing his job like that. Now, do I think that it'll be just another quarterback competition next season? Yeah, probably.
No, I don't think so.
But if we don't make the playoffs, Pat Shurmur's done.
Yeah,
I mean, this is. I honestly don't know. I think that Vic Fangio is a little bit safer than Pat Shurmur is ultimately. But Pat Shurmur is definitely his butt's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And Jay says it here. It's too bad that we have an offensive coordinator that's obsessed with 3 wide, which you see Dave Glassman mentioning the constantly running 11 personnel. He's not wrong. It makes it hard to have that kind of run game.
Yeah,
when you're running 3 wide constantly.
What happens is the 3 wide it doesn't spread the defense out completely. But it does spread them out more than what the Titans do, which is a 2 wide. They'll have A.J. Brown, and they'll have the receiver over here, and they'll have a tight end. Let's say it was Corey Davis, and they'll have either a heavy right or a heavy left offensive line, and they'll run Derrick Henry off the tackles either to the left or to the right. But the defense has to play condensed. They're not playing for the pass because there's only two receivers. So when they do run a pass, the defense is not expecting it. So you're absolutely right. When you run 3 wide personnel and you have a slot, and you have an X and a Z, the defense has multiple plays to play against that. But when you only have an X and a Z, you condense their playbook to so much. At the same time, you're expanding yours because of that. And I'm hoping Pat Shurmur can take notes from that and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't need to have Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and let's say Albert O as tight end because he can block better. Way Albert O can go out for Albert O can guard for a pass, but he can also block, and you got Melvin Gordon in the backfield. It opens up play action like somebody in the comments said. I believe it was KB82, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, it definitely opens up play action.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, will it happen? Only time will tell. We'll see. I'm hoping one. Okay, so we've talked about it this offseason that this last season, the last offseason really killed us. It was a big part of why this last season was so bad. And a big part of that was that, Drew Lock didn't have time, with his new offensive coordinator to get comfortable with, our ROC's playbook, right? That's been a big argument made in his favor for a long time. Others might argue, others could even make the argument as well that Pat Shurmur, Mobad's in the house.
Mobad. Hey, Mobad.
What's up, buddy?
Tell us how long you've been married. That's a conversation.
Yeah, that's our thing for today.
Don't ask.
How many years are you celebrating this year? So anyway, people could also argue that Pat Shurmur didn't have enough time to really get to know his players well enough to tool his offense to them. Now, I don't, and that could be true. That could be true. I mean, think about it. Just like the players didn't have enough time to really get comfortable in his system, do you think he really had enough time with the players to figure out how he could tool that offense to them? Not really, in my opinion.
Now, what I will say is this before we get to Dave's comment, Full Glassman. Excuse me. I think we can all agree Locke has improved. Footwork, progression.
Oh yes,
turnovers. Being in that second system, and I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody else on another team was like, "Hey, being in a system for the second year in a row, or continuity within the system helps greatly." I can't remember what team it was, but they said the same thing. And so, Locke being in the second system, and I think one of the things that come down to the QB competition, and I've seen Mundungus. Shout out to you, Mundungus. I've seen you post on Twitter a lot. You always say, "I'm leaning toward Locke for week 1." Because of his knowledge of the system, I believe it. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong.
Well, we've said it. It's a tie. If they tie, it's going to Locke. And not just because he's the incumbent, but because his upside is higher.
Yes, and not only that, but his knowledge of the system, I think. And Pat Shurmur say, and we didn't go over this comment. It didn't happen this week. Pat Shurmur said, and I quote, and normally he hasn't really given Drew Lock much credit, but he said, "This is the best version of Drew Lock I've ever seen." I'm probably mixing some words around, but he said this is the best version of Drew Lock I've seen. So this is we can dog on Pat Shurmur all we want. He's in the NFL. He gets paid. He's a professional. He knows what he's looking at more than we do, whether it's me and Johnny or anybody out there in Broncos country. And he's saying the same things that all of us are saying. Drew Lock has improved greatly, and that's on the back of their minds. So when it comes down to choosing QB1, that's there. Throwing a 60-yard deep bomb, second play of the scrimmage, that's in the back of their minds. That's in their film. So imagine we play Minnesota in the scrimmage and the same thing happens. That's separation. But going to Dave Full Glassman, he says if Locke is great, we are in the conference championship. Agreed. If he's good, we're still a playoff team. Agreed. I don't disagree with anything you say. Because Dave Full Glassman, full glass.
He's full glass. Here, hold on. This is a new one. So this is a full glass right here.
Yes. Hey, Johnny, did you know? So I don't know if there's a Corona shortage, but I've been at the gas station for like the last few days. They haven't had Coronas at all. Now
I don't know that I came home from work the other night and found a liquor shortage in my house. So
you didn't. Not yesterday because I restocked your fridge.
You restocked my fridge with beer. I said liquor.
Oh, so now you're going to complain about what was restocked?
I'm just saying. How am I supposed to make a delicious margarita if all my tequila is drunk? I'm just saying.
Your margarita, you have beer because I restocked your fridge.
For the first time in how long, buddy? And how many beers have you taken out of that fridge over the past 3 years?
It's not about me, Johnny.
Gosh, of course it's not about you. It's never about you.
Stop being selfish.
God, here we go. Anyway, we'll talk about this later, mister. Anyway, I want to go.
Okay. I didn't even know Locke was in contention for comeback player of the year. Sutton, Miller, not Locke. Now, what I will say about Nuggets is
not in contention, but it's still fun to talk about.
Hold on. There are bigger names like Carlton Sutton and Von Miller. You are 110% correct. I think Von Miller will win defensive comeback player of the year. I think Sutton could win offensive, but I think Drew Lock can win most improved. Now imagine you have 3 Broncos winning those awards. Yeah, hot take. I think Drew Lock could win most improved player. I think that'd be a huge deal. And I think it would shut the NFL up, especially I'm not even gonna say his name. It would shut the NFL up. I'm not even gonna say his name. Most of you can figure out who he is. His name rhymes with cow. So
we're not even going there. We're not even going there. I do want to bring this up. Mundunga, hey, would you stop it? Mundunga says nothing against Pookie Williams, and I'm bringing this up because I want to turn this into a question that we ask you guys to answer in the comments. Nothing against Pookie Williams, but we also don't have Derrick Henry, and that's not the question I'm going to ask. And no, we haven't seen enough of Pookie yet to know if he's better than Derrick Henry. But
I just made it up.
Based on what we have seen, I want your guys' take. Do you guys think that Pookie Williams has the potential to be the next Derrick Henry? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Comment, agree or disagree.
Yep.
off the top for me, no. He doesn't have the size. Derrick Henry's what, 6'4", 250, 245? No. And he runs a 4-5. No. That's me. That's me.
Dave brings it in. Giants are imploding in camp. The Jets and Jags picked 1 and 2 for a reason. So yeah, I think we're gonna go 3-0 for sure until we play the Ravens.
3-0.
Yeah.
Week 4.
Week 4 is against.
If we go 3-0, if we go 3-0 against 3-0 going into playing Baltimore and we beat Baltimore, we're on the map for the rest of the season. All eyes on the Broncos. If we go 3-0 and beat the Ravens, we're on the map. Hands down, no question about it. Everybody's looking. Everybody's like, what's going on? Because everybody wants to talk about every other team is except for the Broncos. So if we go 3-0 and beat the Ravens, we're on the map. Dave says, I like your optimism, Isaiah. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. I got that from you because you're full glassman. I try to be full glassman like you. But he said, I don't think most improved is an award. Wait, most improved is an award.
Well, there is a most improved award, but I don't think they give out as many. There's like 2 of them given out. I don't know. But
okay, Dave. Let's say it is an award. Real quick, Dave, before I confirm, let's say it is an award. Take out Drew Lock. Let's say not Drew Lock, who else in the NFL that you can think of would win most improved? Wait. Jerry Jeudy's also won.
Oh yeah, I mean he is. What we've been saying from Jeudy in camp, dude. Jerry Jeudy is slated to be a top 5 wide receiver in this league.
Now we're biased, so we automatically jump out. A Broncos player. But Dave, I also want to hear, and people in the comments, is there any other most improved player in the NFL that you could pick up? Tua is also another one because
are we actually going to talk about Tua? Like really?
No, we're not going to talk about him. I'm saying just most improved players. I think Jerry Jeudy tops that list, but I think Drew Lock could be a dark horse for that. But I like
going back,
now think about it.
Here we have some responses to my question. My cousin Dreamweaver says, "Nope, King Henry is a rare breed." The Whiz Kid says that depends if he can stiff arm someone a yard away. Wisdom from a 12-year-old, way beyond his years.
Yes.
KB82 answers, with Gordon and Williams forces combined, they create a Derrick Henry who can catch.
Yes, but that's true. But at the same time, Derrick Henry is that good where you have to combine 2 running backs to equal 1.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. I like Ron's take on this. Are you ready for this? We have our Derrick Henry. Pookie is a former linebacker. Yes. And KB82 talks about that. Brings it up too. And I agree. I know? I mean, we don't know yet if he can be that as productive as Derrick Henry. But I mean, with the way he runs through people and just goes through, I mean, I think he has the potential to get there.
He has to start first.
I mean,
Derrick Henry reminds me of actually he's a rare breed, but if I had to think of one, I can't think of his size. I'm leaning toward Eric Dickerson and or Jim Brown. I'm leaning toward more of Jim Brown in regards to his run style, but I do not know Jim Brown's size. That's who Derrick Henry reminds me of, is Jim Brown. But Mundungus comes in regards
Who
to
does
my
Pookie remind you of then? Exactly.
I've heard some people say, a couple people say Marion Barber.
Okay.
But if I were to let's say I were to go Hall of Fame and more known names, Emmitt Smith. I think he's quick, but I also think he can break tackles. Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. Let me step back. Derrick Henry reminds me of, I'd say Javonte Williams reminds me of kind of like Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
He can run.
I want to hit a hot take on that. I want to hit a hot take on that one. Whew. I mean that's
on the Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson's Bo Jackson, dude. I mean, you're too young to know this, but I mean, have you never played Tecmo Bowl?
Can break the tackles.
I mean, you're too young to know. Did you ever play Tecmo Bowl?
So there was hold on. Wasn't there a Family Guy episode about that?
Yeah, they brought it up in Family Guy. Yeah,
but
I've actually
Peter was
played
just
the
playing
game
with Bo Jackson the whole time.
Yeah, everybody did.
Peter was playing with Bo Jackson the whole time, and
once
nobody
you discovered that you could just literally run around the entire field and never get tackled by playing as Bo Jackson, everybody played as Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl, dude.
I did play with Bo Jackson. I did play with Bo Jackson in NFL Street. And that man was, when you could jump off walls, that man was unstoppable. But Javonte Williams,
he's a human pinball, dude. He bounces off everybody.
Yeah, I'd say, for maybe, you know what? Maybe Earl Campbell. Maybe because Bo Jackson had more speed than Javonte Williams, so I'd say Javonte Williams is more Earl Campbell.
He's got speed though. He's just he's got that
like
power.
And fast, but he's got the power like Earl Campbell, and they bounce off. That's who we thought Royce Freeman would be, but I definitely lean toward Javonte Williams being potential Earl Campbell. Derrick Henry. KBA said Derrick Henry reminds me of Christian Okoye.
Well, then I think we just need to
the
get
Nigerian
Steve Atwater.
Then
if that's the case, when we play the Titans, we just need Steve Atwater to come out of retirement for one game. Lay it on Derrick.
We don't Henry have to. You don't have to. Why? We don't have to.
Because he couldn't go through Josie Jewell. Because he didn't get through Honey Bear.
That was the best tackle I'd ever seen by Josie on Derrick Henry when Josie Jew came to that line and popped him. I was like,
I mean, Mundungus is salivating right now at the mention of Honey Bear. So good of his Honey Bear.
So speaking of Mundungus, he says in regards to improved players, Sam Darnold with the Panthers. Yes, I could see that. Jared Goff,
with the Lions?
No, with the Lions. I mean, so with Sam Darnold and Jared Goff, the Panthers and the Lions both have to be playoff contenders. Same as Drew Lock and the Broncos. So I can see that. Matt Stafford, I don't think so.
I think he's gonna do it with the Rams.
Yeah, like I said, Tua. I definitely said Tua. Matt Stafford, no, because Matt Stafford puts up significant numbers every year. So an improvement from Matt Stafford would be same numbers plus playoffs plus maybe NFC Championship. So I don't know on Matt Stafford, Mike. Jerry Jeudy, out of those 4, 5, maybe I'm biased, but I'd go with Jerry Jeudy. I'm biased. I'm a Broncos fan.
From what we've seen in camp so far, like, the Honorable Judge Judy is going to be like running all over. Is just going to be, I mean, oh my gosh, there was that, my favorite Judy moment I've seen so far. He didn't even make the catch, but it was just a clip of him on a stop and go against Pat Surtain. And his stop and go was just, it blew my mind. He just did it and stopped. And then, I mean, his explosiveness to get back moving and busting past Pat Surtain, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was a thing of beauty.
I rewatched that just to watch his footwork because I used to be a receiver. I rewatched it just to see his footwork and how he did it. It was fluid. But Dave, I just looked it up. Josh Allen last year was most improved player. Golf clap.
Yeah.
So Dave, there is most improved player, and Josh Allen actually won it last year. So it's MVP, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, comeback player of the year, and most improved player because Josh Allen did win it last year.
Right. So Mundungus brought this up, and Dave Glass.
I agree, Dave.
Smith is overrated. Kind of.
I agree.
Now this one, I almost said this a minute ago, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take off my orange colored lenses for a minute. But you know what? I'm bringing it up because Mundungus said it, and I agreed. Pookie reminds me a lot of Terrell Davis. Well, he is. Because
did you see him talking to Steve Atwater?
Oh yeah.
He's shredded.
Oh, I know. He's never not been shredded, dude. The guy's an animal.
Whoa.
He's a freaking Hulk, man. But anyway.
Yeah, he is.
What Mundungus says here of Pookie reminding him a lot of Terrell Davis. I agree because one of the things that made Terrell Davis who he was now, they're different in that Terrell Davis, like he could get through, push his way through, and somehow they couldn't get their legs, his legs never stopped moving. And it never seemed like opposing teams just could never get their arms around his legs enough to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So with Pookie, it's like he bounces off people. I mean, I literally look at all the tape I've watched on Pookie. He's a human pinball. He just bounces off people, and they cannot seem to get their arms around him because he's just literally like ricocheting off of them. And that's why I think it's similar in that it's going to be harder for teams to take him down.
So Johnny, excuse me, I'm going to offend you. I'm going to
probably
offend everybody in the comments.
Probably,
and I
you better be careful.
No, it's going to happen, and I apologize. I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning. All right, I'm going to offend everybody. Terrell Davis only played in the NFL for 6 years,
and
he was a Hall of Famer.
He was that good.
If he stayed in for 10 to 15, he would have been the best running back of all time.
You're not wrong.
I didn't know he only played for 6 years.
Only 6 years. He got hurt, and it was career ending.
And they're like, yep, he's Hall of Fame worthy. I'm like, whoa,
he was. So, look. I'm just gonna say it right here. The 1997 season, the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl, the guy put up 2,000 yards, over 2,000 yards.
Just reading that.
Okay, reading that. Whether you're only in the league 6 years or not, how many running backs can you name that have put up over 2,000 yards in a single season?
So it says he's the Denver Broncos all-time leading rusher.
Yep.
And still holds the record and still to this day holds the record for most postseason single season touchdowns. And they said arguably the greatest postseason for a running back in NFL history in the playoffs.
He was.
I didn't know he only played. I'm completely impressed. So the reason why I'm looking him up is because Terrell Davis was 5'11", 210. I think he weighed a little bit more than 210 in my opinion.
He's a big guy.
And Javonte Williams is 5'10", 220. So they're very similar in size.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I mean, like, I don't know if you've been really paying attention during camp, but you look at Pookie. I mean, he's shredded too, dude. Like that guy's got some quads that are pretty mind blowing, my friend.
Yes, and he's pretty cut. He's pretty cut.
He's gonna, so.
EJ says lock him win comeback player of the year because he pretty much didn't show up to play all year except against Carolina.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hey,
enough.
No arguments. I'm a Drew Lock fan. No arguments. He has the potential. I think stat line 3,800 to 4,200 yards.
Yeah.
30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
He throws up that stat line. Number one, we're in the playoffs, easy. Number two, comeback player of the year. But if he's throwing up that stat line, Jerry Jeudy has 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 10 to 12 touchdowns, easy.
Yeah. So real quick,
they're gonna be battling for that. I think if Drew Lock succeeds, Jerry Jeudy succeeds.
Yeah. Real quick, KB82 just brought up the entire this stat line on Terrell Davis for that season. Terrell Davis, offensive player of the year, league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, 2,000 yards in a single season, and he sat 8 quarters.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
that's why Terrell Davis, even after only a career of 6 seasons, is a Hall of Famer.
Well, when you made me watch that game, at halftime, he had 162 rushing yards with a concussion. Yes. At halftime.
At halftime. And he got kicked in the head and had a migraine that blinded him. He couldn't see, and he still got on the field and ran blind. Now, granted, he wasn't given the ball. When he ran that, he didn't have the ball. It was a trick play. John Elway got out there, faked the handoff to him. He ran through the hole, and because he'd been running all over them all game, and they had no idea that he was currently blind, the Packers ate it up like it was, Sunday dinner. And then John Elway was able to dump off a really awesome play action pass to Rod Smith over the middle for a first down. It was an incredible thing. And that's what I'm saying. This is that's Terrell Davis, dude. So hey, we're in hour 2, and
I see that. Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping up, finishing these comments. 6 years and you're Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's I've never heard of that. That's legit. That's even better than Barry Sanders, where everybody's like, Barry Sanders, if he'd stayed, would have been the greatest. Mm-hmm. No, not even close. TD was legit.
Yeah. Now I think KB82 looks a lot like him, and I agree with Mundungus on that.
Yes. KB82 says Walter Payton was money on Tecmo. I love Walter Payton. And Lawrence Taylor on defense. Oh, the original LT. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Real quick. So Mundungus is bringing it up. Okay, we are talking about comeback player or most improved. Locke has 0 chance at comeback player, but maybe most improved. And I agree.
Yes, that's what I meant. I meant most improved.
You have to have been a really good. You have to have proven yourself once already as really good, then drop down, then come back again.
Von Miller's comeback player.
He hasn't been that. He's never been at the apex. So yeah, he might get most improved as opposed,
Von Miller's got that locked up.
Mr. Boggins says hello from Bushy Beach in Bushy Beach Town in Cali.
California. Yeah, you're my home state, baby.
Love.
Yeah. Anyway. EJ says Pookie reminds me of Nick Chubb. Yes, I see that.
I can see that too. Yeah. So real quick, let's get back. Let's talk a little bit.
Denver
longer.
Gator in the house. What's up, Denver Gator?
Yeah, Denver Gator. Oh, I missed that. I missed Denver Gator.
That's why I'm here, Johnny. That's why I'm here.
Love this channel, or is it live?
Yeah,
I think it's love. Love this channel. We love you, Denver Gator. Speaking of Tecmo Bowl, I used number 77 albino rhino. I wore number 77 because I wanted to be the albino rhino, but there can only be one rhino to the Hall of Fame. Hey. Carl Mecklenburg is, it's an argument. I think Rod Smith is the next Bronco that should be considered for Hall of Fame status.
Is that who Steve Atwater said when asked, or did he say Dennis Smith?
I believe he said either Rod Smith. I think he said Rod Smith. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
He did.
I mean, he better have said Rod Smith. Dennis Smith was great too, but Rod Smith is the all-time Broncos leading wide receiver.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be.
Yes, Grandma is in the house. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Gramps.
So I think Rod Smith needs to be the next one, but Carl Mecklenburg definitely deserves his argument to get in the Hall of Fame. The albino rhino was an animal, plain and simple. All right, so hey, let's talk one more time about the Hall of Fame because I want to give another huge. Mm-hmm. This is from all of us at MHRT and us here at Nothing Rhymes. We want to say congratulations to the great Steve Atwater, the amazing Peyton Manning, and the awesome John Lynch for their induction this season, and to all of the Hall of Fame inductees of 2021, but those three in particular, because those three in particular wore orange and blue. So to those three, you guys deserve it. Here's our applause.
Congrats. You guys played an awesome career.
I cannot think of, I cannot even begin to describe how deserving all three of those names are for being in the Hall of Fame. And
wait, Johnny, quick question.
Yes.
Take away your bias. There was two safeties drafted in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Who's the harder hitter, John Lynch or Steve Atwater?
Steve Atwater. That's hands down, dude. I mean, John Lynch, dude, there's not a question. Okay, look. John Lynch was a hell of a safety. I take nothing away from John Lynch.
Yes.
Hell of a safety. Good coverage, man. He played tight coverage. Great at breaking up passes. He was a ball hawk. He was good at, he made some amazing interceptions in his time. Fantastic safety. Steve Atwater literally has a play named The Hit from him. So if you're asking who had the harder hit, but who could hit harder between the two, just literally go on YouTube and look up Steve Atwater hits, not just the hit, hits. And you will see a compilation of some of the most insane, hard. I mean, the guy's one of the. Here's the funny thing. I've said this before. Steve Atwater, everybody who knows him, like Ryan Edwards was on with our boys at an MHRT podcast a couple weeks ago. Right. Mm-hmm. When he was on, he co-hosts shows with Steve Atwater, and they're friends. And he has straight up said, like, to anybody that asks, Steve Atwater is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. Would give you the shirt off his back, hug a stranger. He's an amazing person. But when that guy hit people, their ancestors felt it. I mean, like I said, you go on YouTube, look up Steve Atwater hits, plural, and watch those compilation videos with all of Steve Atwater's greatest hits, and you'll be like, holy cow, how did people not die when he hit them?
I saw, I think it was Ron Smith did an interview, and he was like, Steve hit me one time in practice, and I got up and I said, don't you ever hit me like that again. Yeah, that was during training camp day 2. He said that. He's like, yeah, Steve hit me in practice once, and I got up and was like, seriously, dude? And Steve was like, I'm sorry. You know, like, he hit people so hard. So congratulations to the class, the entire Hall of Fame class of 2021 from us here at Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, and us and all the rest of us here at MHRT Podcasts. And a special recognition to the 3 members of the Denver Broncos who made the Hall of Fame this year. You are more than deserving, and I cannot wait to someday come to Canton and see your busts. Sirius, get out of the screen. And the funny part, hold on. And the funny part is,
Sirius, get out.
The funny part is, Peyton Manning cannot get away from Charles Woodson.
No,
stop. Charles Woodson.
Sirius wants me on the show.
Charles Woodson won the Heisman over Peyton Manning in college. One of the very few DBs to ever win, defensive players to ever win it. And then Peyton Manning got drafted first.
Yeah.
And then they get drafted into the Hall of Fame at the same time. That just shows you these two are legit. They've been legit their whole lives, all the way up until they retire.
Although I cannot remember if Charles Woodson was a first ballot. Because Peyton Manning's first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yes, easily. There's no they took. You know how long it took them?
Oh no, I know that Peyton Manning got first ballot. I don't know if Charles Woodson got first ballot because he retired before Peyton. So he's had. I don't know if he's been on the ballot before this, and this is the first time this is when he finally got the vote.
I'm checking right now. He retired in 2000. No, yeah, he's a first ballot. They retired the same
Both
year.
of them were first ballot Hall of Famers. That's pretty crazy.
They both retired 2015. They both got drafted the same year, 1998. Charles Woodson won the Heisman over Peyton Manning, except Peyton Manning was picked number 1. Charles Woodson was picked number 4, and they both got drafted, put in the Hall of Fame the same year, first ballot. So they just cannot get away from each other.
They cannot.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
That being said, guys, this has been our Hall of Fame weekend, so we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap this up. We cannot wait to see more from the scrimmages this week. Preseason coming up next weekend. I can't wait.
Tuesday.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. So
Tuesday's the Minnesota scrimmage. Hey, is that one live? Are we able to watch that?
I don't know.
Hey guys, if you guys know in the comments, let us know so that way, or post on Twitter and tag us. Are we able to watch that scrimmage against Minnesota? Because I would love to know. But yes, hey,
that
guys,
being said,
like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video so we can get like-minded Broncos members to come in and watch us and be a part of the community. And comment like you guys just did. We love it when you guys comment. We love it when you guys agree. We love it when you guys disagree. And you can follow us and hit that notification bell. So that way, when we pop up on the show, where MHRT pops up on any day, you automatically know, hey, MHRT is going live, and you can join in and you can watch. You can also find us on Johnny. Go ahead, do this.
Yes. All right. So you can listen to us after the fact. If you did not catch us live today and you don't want to watch the video on YouTube, you can catch us also on Spotify, Stitcher, Google, TuneIn, anywhere you find your audio podcasts. Okay. Check us out. Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. It's easy to find us. Okay. Now, again, this has been Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. We've got some big changes coming up here at MHRT Podcasts. So stay tuned. Be watching because the big stuff, bunch of big new things, it's all coming. It's coming fast. It's coming hard. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. Also,
you guys aren't ready yet.
Please do not miss the rest of our shows. Tuesday nights, we have Broncos Talk with a 6'10" Mexican, Richie Richey, and myself at 7654 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Don't miss our flagship podcast, MHRT Podcast, on Thursdays, 7654 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, with Boggins, Glenn Hauser, a 6'10" Mexican, and the boss man Mundungus. We will be live next Sunday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, 6543. This has been Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. We must do the mile high five.
Wait. Because Sirius is going to do the mile. No, he's not going to do it today. All right. I don't think he's not ready yet.
He's not ready yet? What do you mean he's not ready yet?
I haven't trained him enough.
Well, that's terrible.
I have to get
What are you even doing with your life?
I'm sorry, Johnny. I didn't train my dog to do the mile high five.
Well, what are you even doing with your life? I mean, serious. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, this has been fun. We cannot wait to see you. Do not miss the rest of our shows. And we are going to do the mile high five and get the heck out of here. We love you, MHRT, or we love you, MHRT. We love you, NRW crew. We love you, Broncos country. Get prepared. Do this with us, NRW crew. Arms out at your side. And here we go. Mile high five. Thank you, Broncos country. And we are out.